Let me say something that might feel a little uncomfortable. Your 30s matter more than you think. Not because you're running out of time, not because life ends at 40, not because success has an expiration date, but because your 30s are the financial pivot point. They are the decade where small decisions quietly multiply or quietly cost you. And most people don't realize it until their 50s. So today, I want to talk to you honestly about why your 30s decide whether you retire comfortable or stressed. Not scared, not broke, but stressed. Because retirement stress doesn't always look like poverty. Sometimes it looks like, I guess I'll just work a few more years. I can't really afford to slow down. I hope nothing unexpected happens. That kind of low-grade, constant financial tension. Let's make sure that's not you. First, your 30s are when compounding gets serious. In your 20s, you're experimenting. Jobs change, cities change, relationships change. Income is usually lower, stability is still forming. Your 30s? This is when income typically rises, skills solidify, careers stabilize. And that's when compounding either begins working aggressively for you or against you. Let me explain something powerful. If you invest consistently starting at 30, you give your money roughly 30 to 35 years to grow before traditional retirement age. That's not just growth, that's exponential growth. But here's the catch. If you delay serious investing until 40, you don't just lose 10 years, you lose the most powerful 10 years. Because compound interest is backloaded. The real explosion happens later, but only if you started earlier. Your 30s are the setup decade. Miss the setup, and the ending looks very different. Second, your lifestyle inflation locks in during your 30s. This is the silent trap. In your 30s, income rises, and so do expectations. Bigger apartment, new car, nicer vacations, upgraded everything. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying your money. But here's what most people don't see. Your 30s are when your lifestyle baseline gets set. If your cost of living expands as fast as your income, you've built a financial treadmill. And treadmills are exhausting. The problem isn't enjoying life. The problem is permanent upgrades, because every permanent upgrade increases your required monthly income, reduces your investing capacity, raises your retirement number. If you need $8,000 a month to feel normal, your retirement portfolio must support that. That's a heavy load. Your 30s decide whether you lock in a lean, flexible lifestyle or an expensive one you must sustain forever. Third, your 30s are when debt becomes dangerous. Debt in your 20s is often messy but smaller. Debt in your 30s gets bigger. Mortgages, car loans, business loans, sometimes lingering student debt. And here's where people split into two paths. Path A, use debt strategically, cautiously, and prioritize eliminating high-interest obligations. Path B, normalize debt as a permanent lifestyle accessory. The danger isn't debt itself, it's dependency on debt. If you enter your 40s still carrying high-interest consumer debt, you're not just paying interest, you're paying with time. Time your money could have been compounding. Every dollar paying 20% interest is a dollar not earning 7 to 10% in investments. That spread matters. Your 30s are when you either clean the slate or cement the burden. Fourth, your 30s shape your identity around money. This one is psychological. By your 30s, your money habits feel normal. If you overspend in your 30s, it becomes your identity. If you invest in your 30s, it becomes automatic. If you avoid looking at your finances, that avoidance deepens. Patterns repeated for 10 years become Personality. And personality drives financial outcomes more than math. Comfortable retirees usually didn't make one brilliant move. They built a steady identity. I'm someone who invests. I'm someone who avoids unnecessary debt. I'm someone who lives below my means. Your 30s are when that identity hardens. Choose it intentionally. Fifth, the retirement math becomes real. Let's talk numbers without being overwhelming. If you want financial independence or a comfortable retirement, you need assets producing income. That could be index funds, retirement accounts, real estate, dividend portfolios, business ownership. But here's the truth. Assets need time. You cannot rush 30 years of compounding into 10. If you start investing $1,000 per month at 30 versus 40, the difference by retirement can be hundreds of thousands, sometimes over $1 million, depending on returns. And the earlier you build momentum, the less aggressive you need to be later. People who start late often feel pressure to take bigger risks, chase higher returns, panic during downturns. People who start earlier can stay calm. Calm investors usually win. Sixth, your 30s often include family decisions. Marriage, children, home ownership. These are beautiful milestones, but they are also financial accelerators. Children multiply expenses. Homes multiply responsibilities. If you enter these commitments without stability, stress follows. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is preparation. Emergency fund in place, insurance covered, investing automated, debt controlled. When your foundation is solid, life events feel exciting, not terrifying. Your 30s are when you either build that foundation or postpone it. Seventh, your career leverage peaks in your 30s. Your 30s are often your prime earning acceleration years. You have experience, you have credibility, you're still flexible. This is the decade to negotiate raises, change industry strategically, build additional income streams, and invest in high-return skills. The income growth in your 30s fuels your retirement, but only if the increase goes towards assets, not just lifestyle. If every raise upgrades your par, house, and vacations, your future self sees none of it. Your 30s are not just about earning more, it's about converting income into ownership. Ownership changes everything. Eighth, health and energy still support smart risk. In your 30s, you still have time and resilience. You can start businesses, make career pivots, take calculated risks. In your late 50s, much harder. Energy matters, and your 30s are a bridge between youth and maturity. It's the perfect decade to build aggressively, but intelligently, not recklessly, strategically. Because once responsibilities stack higher, flexibility decreases. Now, let's zoom out. Why do so many people feel stressed in retirement? It's rarely because they didn't work hard. It's usually because they delayed investing seriously, they inflated lifestyle with income, they normalized debt, they avoided long-term planning, and by the time they tried to fix it, time was no longer generous. I don't say this to create fear. I say it to create clarity. Your 30s are powerful, not because you must be perfect, but because you still have time to correct course. If you're in your 30s right now, here's what truly matters. 1. Invest consistently, even if it's not a huge amount. 2. Keep fixed expenses lower than your peers. 3. Avoid consumer debt like it's poison. 4. Increase income, but invest the difference. 5. Protect your downside with savings and insurance. 6. Focus on asset accumulation, not appearance. If you do those things consistently for 10 years, your 40s will feel stable, your 50s will feel confident, and retirement will feel optional, not forced. Let me leave you with something important. Retirement comfort isn't about yachts. It's about choice. Choice to slow down. Choice to say no. Choice to rest. Choice to work because you want to, not because you must. Your 30s decide whether retirement feels like freedom or like financial negotiation. And the beautiful part? You don't need perfection. You need direction. Start now. Automate investing, lower fixed costs, increase assets, reduce liabilities. Small, consistent moves in your 30s create massive peace in your 60s. This isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about becoming unshakable over time. And if you're willing to play the long game, your future self will be unbelievably grateful. I'll see you in the next video.